It'll be nice and straightforward.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Lee Summit Schools Assistance Corporation meeting. Today we're going to call the meeting to order. Our first up, we're going to have a report. Can I have an adoption of the agenda?
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? All right. Okay, we're gonna move ahead. So we need to approve the minutes from August 28th, 2020?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, we'll keep going. Joe, do you mind giving us a brief update on the LSSAC, just for our participants today?
Sure. For the folks who are watching or folks who are new to this, the LSSAC is a vestige of an earlier era in Missouri law where school districts had to use a procedure for constructing facilities that was set out in statute, under which a separate nonprofit corporation would actually acquire the property, and then the school district would lease the property back. So the corporation is a conduit that allows the district to use lease purchase revenues to build buildings, acquire land, and the like. There is still one piece of property that the district leases from the LSSAC, and that's the reason why the corporation is still in existence. It's the property at 505 Southeast Transport Drive. That property is scheduled to be paid off in June of 2023, and once that happens, I would expect that we may then be dissolving the corporation, but that's a couple years down the road.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions or for Joe regarding the existence of the corporation? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to item 5, election of the officers. And basically, we have to elect a chairman of the board of directors, a president, a first vice president, second vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And so with that, do I have any nominations for the chairman of the board of directors?
I think before it's been Tom, right? So I would nominate Tom Jackson to be the chairman.
The one thing I want to add on that is we need to make sure that whoever's the chairman of the board of directors is actually a director as opposed to an officer. You could have an officer who's also a director. I know we had to clean this up a couple of years ago because through the years, we didn't actually have directors. We had non-directors filling the chair role, and legally that chair has to be someone who's on the board of directors. So, Tom, I honestly can't recall if you're on the board or not. If you are, you're certainly eligible for nomination. If not, it would need to be somebody who's on the board.
And I'm sorry, Joe, the board of this particular corporation, or?
Yes, the board of this corporation. The chair has to be a member of this board. And the bylaws, which I've not looked at in a while, but I think they provide a mechanism under which the directors appoint new directors or additional directors. I think there may even be a couple of openings on the board, but the board chair does have to be someone who's on the board as opposed to an officer.
I appreciate that. I guess I'm not particularly sure who the board members are at this point.
Actually, you were appointed last year. I'm looking at last year's minutes, and Tom, you were appointed to the board.
Right.
So to help clean that up, and I apologize, I just wanted to make sure we had that that all clear. But yeah, you would be eligible to serve as chair of the board.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
and Tom, I mean, if we want to keep it the same as we had it in the last year, that's fine too. I got the roles reversed, so I apologize. I thought that you were the chairman and then Dr. Miller was president. So, I mean, we can do whichever people want to do. So.
Historically, I had actually alternated with another individual in the same capacity for probably a dozen years or so. So honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to be a part of the entity in any manner.
Okay, so we have a nomination. And then Joe, do I have to do a motion to, or call for a first and a second, or?
No, nominations don't require first or second, and if nobody else, I apologize, my dog has just picked up a chew toy for the first time in 3 months. So that's that noise you're hearing in the background. But nominations don't require a second, and if there are no other nominations, then the board can vote by acclamation for Tom.
Okay. If there's no other nominations, hearing none. Okay, Tom, you'll be chairman of the board of directors.
Okay.
Do I have a nomination for president?
Well, I would nominate Dr. Emily Miller.
Second.
Do we actually need to take a vote? Okay, all right. Moving forward, how about first vice president? I nominate Ryan Murdoch.
Second.
Keep going. A nomination for second vice president?
I can't see on the screen there, Dr. Miller. Who was that last year?
It was, I have Julie Doan.
Okay. And this is typically a second board member, is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what we've done, yes.
Okay. Joe, does it matter if the board member is on this particular committee?
No, this office, honestly, it's not even, I think, required under the bylaws, and your officers can come from anywhere.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna nominate Megan Marshall, and then I'm just gonna send her a fun message about that.
Okay.
Second.
All right.
She'll appreciate that.
Okay. Moving on. Do we have a nomination for secretary?
That was
Nominate,
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry. I would nominate Hannah Pruitt.
Second.
Okay. And then treasurer.
As we nominate Steve, will we be able to transition to the new CFO? Joe?
Yeah, you could do that. You may have to get the board back together just for a real quickie meeting to reappoint someone.
Okay. All right.
So I would still nominate Steve Williams for treasurer.
Second.
And I don't think we need to appoint anybody else. Is that correct, Joe?
Right.
All right. And then do we have any other business? I don't think we have any. Hearing none, I think we can adjourn our meeting.
This is the best meeting.
No public comment.
That's right.
Well, look forward to seeing you all again in a year.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank
afternoon,
you.
everybody. See you.
Bye-bye.
Very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tom.